Oh, I'm a native of Texas, and I grew up in a small city not far from Waco, Texas. Most people know what that is, but Hillsboro is my home city. That's where I went to, elementary school, junior high, and then I went 1 year to college, and then I moved to the Metroplex and continued my studies. And I've been here in the Metroplex, which is Dallas Fort Worth area, since 1984. So I've been here longer in this area than I did where I grew up.
Nice.
And so, yeah,
So you said you grew up not too far from Waco?
not too far from Waco, Texas.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So were you were you alive around the time of the Waco, Texas incident?
The David Koresh and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
The cult. Oh yes, yes. I was living in Hillsborough about that time, I believe. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was.
Around how old were you around that time?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You're making me go way back now.
That's how we do. We like to go. We like to go with the. We like to hit the roots.
I know that I was older than a teenager because I do
Okay.
recall the time it happened. So I was over a teenager. Yeah,
Old
yeah.
enough to understand what was happening.
Exactly. Oh, yes. I knew what was happening. And being brought up in the church, I knew about the cults and things like that. I knew about other things and what to look out for. And yeah, that definitely was. It was called the David Koresh. If you remember the David Koresh, it was a cult. It was a big thing. So most people know Waco because of that. And
I
I do
actually know
remember
Waco
that it was
because of that too. Like the documentaries and all that stuff.
exactly,
I
yeah.
watched.
So yeah, it took us a while to kind of get through that, the surrounding cities and so forth, but we made it through.
Right.
Made it through.
I'm trying to imagine. You said you were a little bit older than a teenager, obviously old enough to understand what was happening at the time. What was the whole? Can you describe a little bit like how everyone was taking it? Like people in your family, what was being said? Was it like a panic type of situation, or was it just something that you guys were just in awe, or just looking, just wondering like what the hell was going on?
In our family, because we were always brought up in the church and believed God and just believed the Bible when it says these things will happen, all kinds of things will happen in the end times, the last days. My mom and dad were strong in the faith. And so it didn't really phase us as to what was happening, but many people around the surrounding cities in that city, I think they were a little caught off guard. And I think it was really bad because of the fact we never had something like that of that magnitude to happen in that city or around, surrounding cities like that. I would say that it was a lot of panic overall because, I mean, you just never know who you're living next door to or who you pass by the highway. So, yeah, it was a big thing back then. It was a
I
lot
can
of people
I can
fearful.
imagine. I mean, it's almost
Yeah,
comparable to the whole Jim Jones situation in Guyana.
correct. That is correct. That is exactly how it was. And I just recall that we just prayed and always kept ourselves covered in the blood of Jesus. That's what I do still to today. Just pray about things that seem so crazy that's going on in the world. But then I'm always reminded, Kyron, of these things that in the Bible, Matthew 24 and Mark 13 said these things must be. And these are the beginning of sorrows, these type of things. So yes, I just, it's a lot of things I can go into, but since we're talking on that subject, I recall, it was all on the news everywhere you turned on the TV, it was on there, and so many people was afraid that it was still other people that knew something about it would be in their area. So yeah, anytime something like that happens,
Yeah,
it do leave it in a state of fear,
right.
if you don't know how to pray about it.
And
Correct.
obviously, you guys were very close to it, and then you have the whole United States, and by extension, people all over just looking and trying to find out like
That's
what exactly was going on at the time.
That's correct. That is correct. Yeah. I had forgot about that. You mentioned it today.